There are thousands of DOS games. Most of them are terrible. I play one selected at random with a 20-minute time limit and record it live. This is the result. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Random DOS game show. It's Championship Manager 2. Now, for those who don't know, I am a massive proponent of Championship Manager. And listen to that beautiful, beautiful introductory theme. Ha! The slum. 23p. Wow. Okay. So, we have a choice between playing an English game or a Scottish game, as it should be. No need for those other leagues. We can restore a game, delete a game, change the directory, or enter the Hall of Fame. Now, I did a video a while back about Championship Manager 2001 to 2002, which I believe to be the definitive management game in the history of gaming. And the reason I did that was there's been a gradual sort of understanding that, hey, this is actually one of the greatest strategy games of all time. And it doesn't actually matter that it's about football. That's sort of, yes, okay, it's the setting, but the actual, strategy game itself is brilliant. So we'll hit English game and go to our saved slot. Please enter a name for this game. Let's just J1, creating J1 data. And we have a little bar at the bottom there, which is typical of Championship Manager. The interface stayed roughly the same for a long, long time. Years. So, you know the way with a lot of these strategy games, every single time you play them, a sequel, there's a new interface that you have to get to grips with. Not here. Not here. So, we just patiently wait for the data to be created, and we have to select a team now. Now, you'll notice in the top right-hand corner, you have the option to select England or ERA, which means Ireland, and become an international manager. And one of the cool things about Championship Manager, unlike its contemporaries, such as Premier Manager, you could just pick a fantastic team from the Premier League or whatever. But we're going to go for, I believe, a Division 3 side. Let's see. You can be Wales as well. Cool. Let's see. Northampton, because why not? Yes, let's manage Northampton. Please enter your first name. Lawnie. McLawnface. Okay, player 2. I just hit done, and it skipped the player 2 thing. So, England are playing friendlies. Okay, Northern Ireland have some friendlies. Republic, Scotland, Wales. Okay, cool. So, Northampton will play Hereford United in the Coca-Cola League Cup. Remember when it was called the Coca-Cola Cup? Good times. And the Auto Windscreen Shield. Fantastic news. So, now we have our opening sort of gambit, so to speak, from the fellas here. So, there is the date at the top. It's the first season, obviously, and we have to select a button. So, let's have a look at our squad. That's the Arsenal squad, James. You don't want to hit that. Let's hit Northampton. And there's our squad there. I may have accidentally hit the goalkeeper. So we have 2 here that are injured. Neil Grayson. So if we go to his condition, he's suffering from fractured ribs. And he'll be out for a couple of months. That means we can't play him. We can't pick him. We have to wait. Same with Lee Culkin. So he's suffering from bruised shin. About a week. Okay, we don't have much choice, do we? Is that Jermaine Beckford? No, it's Jason Beckford. I was about to say, it would be weird if I recognized some of these players. Anyway, we have a list of positions here. We've got goalkeepers, defenders, depending on side, defensive midfielders, attacking midfielders, forwards, and a straight-up striker in Jason White here. And if we look at Jason White again, we can see all kinds of information. Now, if you look at his abilities, he is absolutely deadly. Look at that. Shooting of 20. Stamina of 20. So you're probably thinking, why is Jason White not picked up by one of these great Premier League clubs? And it's a good question. His pace is 17, which is good. So I have no earthly idea. Honestly, his stats, other than his heading and off-the-ball movement, creativity 2, technique 9, passing 6. There it is. He's good, but he's not that good. Apparently he's unavailable at the minute. Okay, not entirely sure why. But yeah, you can look through all the stuff and you can see their transfer history. Let's go to the manager options. Make available for transfer. No, I don't think we want to do that. You can also transfer list him for loan, offer him a new contract. There's contract negotiations and stuff. So for anyone who's actually played the later Championship Manager games, you would be surprised at just how much they've got right out of the gate with Championship Manager 2. Like, I haven't played Championship Manager 1. Presumably it's a bit rougher around the edges, but this sort of view of the football pitch with the buttons in front of it, it continued all the way up to the early 2000s. So let's have a look at the competition information. So let's go to English competition and see Division 3. Let's have a look at our league table there. So that is the first page, I believe. And you might think, oh, we're a bit low there, 17th. But we haven't played any games yet. So let's have a look at our next fixtures. We're up against Darlington. Okay. So let's just go back with the done button. And let's see the manager info. Overall reputations. We're at 114th. Just by existing, we're more popular than John Toshak. And you can look at John Toshak and see what he's done. Almost everything is clickable, you know? So who at the minute? Wow. Ruud Gullit of Chelsea has the best reputation, followed by Jack Charlton. Now that's a turn up for the books, because in third position there you have Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson is possibly the most famous and important manager in British history. Anyway, let's quit out of that. You've all kinds of buttons. I could explore this interface with you for ages, but let's proceed. So there's our information screen. He'll be out for about a week with a sprained wrist. Okay, we'll just have to do without. So let's just continue. He's recovered from his bruised shin, but because his physical condition is only at 70%, that means that if we're forced to play him, he'll not be at his best. So there's Northampton versus Darlington. We're just going to go into a match, and we have to pick our team now. So because Mr. Woodman here is suffering from a sprained wrist, you can't really play him in nets if he's got a sprained wrist. So we're going to have to figure out how to select the team. No players selected. You're allowed to select 14 players for the match day. So playing positions, estimated value, weekly wage, blah, 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 blah. I think we have to put the numbers on them, which is different. You see the color change there? That shows that you've got these players as substitutions for the match. Currently suffering from a sprained wrist. You've selected him. Whoops! I meant to select this guy. There we go. You've not selected a team captain, so Richard Skelly has been set as captain. Let's go ahead and see. Right. So this is the match screen. Let's kick off. And the match is underway. You can see the minute at the top. And then when action happens, it'll pop up with information about what's happening. This at the bottom here is a possession bar. And yeah, it's proceeding nicely. There's very little information that's making me worry. We seem to be in control, actually. Let's see. So we've paused the game briefly there. And you can see our player ratings there. We're playing okay. So, let's see. Match incidents, match stats. So shots on goal 2, on target 2. Yeah, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. So let's just continue with the match. It's, for people who don't like Championship Manager, this is probably not the height of excitement, but it's really fun for me. Hey, look at that flashing! Goal for Northampton! That means we scored. Now, in other later iterations of Championship Manager, there is like crowd noise and stuff going on. It won't just be completely quiet. So, hey, look at that. We're sweeping Darlington aside. This doesn't happen very often. I'm very pleased at this. My management skills are just tremendous. Very hands-off. So, we've got to halftime, and it'll bring us back to that screen that we saw. Michael Warner's having an amazing game there. And to be honest, he doesn't look like a Division 3 player. Maybe Northampton were demoted to Division 3 at this point, but they're clearly superior to, the opposition here. I mean, you just need to look at the stats. Like, there's Michael Warner's stats, mostly 10s, 15s and above. Look at his counterpart. He's good at free kicks and tackling, but, a lot of other stats, not so great. So let's just kick off. And attendance has been marked at 2,173 people. Now, hey, we got a penalty, I think. Let's see. Here we go. Yes, 3-0 right off from kickoff. That's very, very gratifying, I must say. It's very interesting to watch this because you can see the bones, you can see the beginnings, the foundations of what would later become one of the greatest strategy games ever made. And it's very interesting to see this without sound, without the sidebar. They added so many little interface things to make things more streamlined and interesting and generally help with the management side of things. But honestly, I'll click. Let's just see player ratings, Northampton player stats, condition. Oh, a little mouse over tooltip as well. That's nice. The player's physical condition. They all look fine. They're playing well. They're looking fine. I don't need to bring anybody on. We're 3-0 up. It's comfortable. Yep, this is Darlington attempting to press forward. But, we're 3 goals to the good with, 20 minutes left. They don't stand a chance, So, unless they make a Liverpool versus AC Milan style comeback, then we should be safe. They're trying to push forward. And this is something that the computer will do as the opposition manager. Like, they'll change up the tactics. They'll alter things to try and sort of prevent you from just having an easy game. It is reactive, as far as I can tell. This version, I think it is. It's difficult to say currently. And the thing about Championship Manager in general is a lot of people critique it and say, this is just a glorified database. And I can see where they're coming from. It's very dry. There's very little sound. but it's an enchanting game. And full-time, 3-0, yes, Lawnie McLawnface had the right selection, and they just swept aside Darlington there. They're second in the league, only to Barnet there. That's excellent. So, I could continue, and I could play this much longer, I guess. I think I'll just click on a few things, and then I'll leave it. So if we go back to the squad details of Northampton, never double click, and we're on to Billy Turley, who did well in nets. You can actually see other stuff like the condition, the average ratings, goals scored, stuff like that, you know. You can have general information about records. There's just all kinds of little bits and pieces to sort of show you all kinds of stuff. Now, if we go to these buttons at the bottom here, player search and transfers. Let's have a look at the latest transfers. So there are free agents like Nick Dunphy here, who's been snapped up. And in the pre-season, it's a good idea to have a look, to have a search for players. Look at that. Alan Shearer, the most expensive player in the Premier League. I don't think we can afford him, to be honest with you. So if we do a search now, we need to narrow it down. Transfer listed. Let's go with defenders. Any age. Let's no fee. Yeah. And then hit search. And you'll see, are you joking? Why would we transfer list for no fee? So we'll look up free transfers instead. And then we can narrow this down by skills and stuff. Say if we want an aggressive defender for some reason. That'll narrow it down further. And you can build a sort of idea of a sort of people that you want. And you can look at their career history. Like, that guy played for Derby County in the 80s. He must be good. You know. And I could probably go on for ages here about this. Hey! You'll also find stuff like this. This is Kenny Sansom. I didn't realise Kenny Sansom was in Championship Manager. That's news to me. That's cool. Former England international, but he's 36. What a terrible age to be. Oh, so old. I'm older. So yeah, he must have left Watford at the start of the season and is available. But former Arsenal player, hundreds of appearances. The problem is he's old. But anyway, I could play this forever. You know, for people who enjoy Championship Manager, it's a fun little look back at this style of game, at how what you know as Championship Manager came to be. But there's no point in playing this. And you're probably thinking, James, you just played it for 20 minutes. Why is there no point in playing it? Well, because the later iterations of Championship Manager are the same game, just better. So I say seek out the last update, Championship Manager 2001 to 2002. It's much better than this, but it has been a really enjoyable experience for me to go back and see just how much the Championship Manager team got right with only the second iteration for DOS. Really, really entertaining. And if you like me talking about games that aren't glorified databases, feel free to take a look at the hundreds of other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, you can always subscribe there. And if you are a manager of championship quality, you could consider being my patron. Look at these wonderful names here. They could take Northampton to the top. So yeah, apologies for being a bit overindulgent with this one, but it's just such an enjoyable niche for me, and I do miss the Championship Manager series. Until next time.